Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Friday edition of Creating Playful Worlds. Today is episode 6, so we're going to be talking about theming pediatric dental offices, especially right now during COVID. How do we do that? What are some helpful tips, as well as what are some things and what are some trends that we're seeing with theming these spaces? If you know much about Worlds of WOW, we are passionate about theming children's spaces. We theme spaces in churches, malls, museums, YMCAs, military bases, and one of our favorite areas and some of our favorite clients, quite frankly, are pediatric dentists. Because you think about this, when we were a kid, I remember going to the dentist, Kevin, and there was no theming, and I did not. Everything was white. The walls were white. The waiting area was white. The nurse's gown, she was wearing white. The doctor was wearing white, and it was. Thankfully, the dentist was friendly, but apart from that, it was not a necessary pleasant experience.
So hoping there was a highlights magazine there that he can find marked up already. So yeah, that would definitely be the highlight.
Now, my pediatric doctor, he actually had a fish tank. So, and he was always, it seemed like there would be an hour wait. So at least he had a fish tank. My dentist did not. So again, joining us today is Kevin Cravens. Kevin Cravens is the creative director at Worlds of WOW. And Kevin, I don't want to say how long you've been doing this, because I don't want to reveal your age, but Kevin's been doing this a long time, very experienced, and again, he's the first to share that he has an amazing team. But Kevin is a genius designer, and super glad that he's part of the Worlds of WOW team. So Kevin, today we're going to be talking about the lobby of a space of a pediatric dental office and their space. Again, if you think about it, first impressions, you walk in, what do you see? Again, I always say when we design through the lens of a client, and we also design through the lens of a kid. What do they experience when they come into a dental office? So, man, I know you have some things that you've mocked up, and I just want to talk some big picture ideas, things you've seen over the years, as well as COVID-19, what's trending, especially in these next several months, or hopefully it won't be longer than that. But if it goes several months, what's trending in the pediatric dental world?
Sure. So I don't really have any pictures of kind of the different themes or whatever, right? I think if you're in the pediatric world, you're probably pretty familiar with that. And so, I think for us, typically when we're working with pediatric dental, I mean, it is about that experience for the kiddos and the families. And obviously coming to the dentist or any doctor's office a lot of times is gonna, produce a lot of anxiety in the kiddos. And so, creating an environment that is welcoming, engaging, inspiring, imaginative is a great way to kind of begin to ease those anxieties as they kind of start their dental journey, from walking in the door to having their teeth cleaned to being ready for the next time to come back in 6 months, right? So now for us, it's anything. Like, I think we kind of, like we've been talked about, if you wanted that to be a jungle adventure, if you wanted that to be underwater adventure, anything and everything. So I think this morning it's kind of had some thoughts about, just with everything going on. And I think every place is a little different. Some places aren't open right now. Some are open and make you, check in and wait in your car, then call you in. Some people are having you actually sit in the lobby. But really thinking of some ideas of even during this crazy time, how do we create space for things to help ease kiddos' anxieties, right? So, so I'm gonna pop some things up. I will say, obviously, we're probably right now staying away from anything interactive, right? So no games. Those highlight magazines probably aren't a thing right now, right? So again, just the themed environments are a great way, whether it's the murals on the walls or 3D stuff popping off or 3D stuff hanging from the ceiling, really using your walls and your ceiling as your floor as a canvas to tell a story for the kiddos, I think is a great place to start. But I'll start showing some stuff, and then feel free to stop me, Todd, if you're getting any questions or whatnot. But I think kind of for us, the big thing overall is really thinking through some of these things to invite kids to be active participants and keeping us all safe, right? And so sanitizing stations, obviously anywhere you go,
They're everywhere.
Everywhere, right? They're everywhere before, but now they're really everywhere. Went to the doctor for myself for a checkup this week, and yeah, I mean, several times you gotta hit that sanitizing station, right? And so I think most kids get it. I know if I'm with my kids, I gotta remind them, and it's not necessarily the biggest hassle, but it's a little bit of a hassle. But our thought was really, how could we take these sanitizing stations and really make it something almost fun for the kiddos, not even giving it a second thought, right? So mom and dad get busy, if they forget to remind their kiddos. Kiddos, sometimes they're a little ambivalent or resistant to something like this, but we're really just taking those sanitizing stations. Sometimes it's putting them at kids level, which I love. This is something that our parent company, Playcore, put together. But really creating sanitizing stations at the kids level, and then just adding some theming, whether it's the color or some characters, that I think just really make it approachable for the kiddos. What do you think about that, Todd?
Yeah, no, I love that. Again, it's teaching children to be responsible, and I think of something like this as well, Kevin. I mean, not just in a pediatric dentist office, but I think schools should wrap their heads around something like this. Not just making it so static, but making it fun.
Yep.
Realizing that being healthy is important, and taking care of. I remember in school. We'd have a break, we'd have a restroom break, we'd have a snack break, whatever. And the teacher would say, well, did you wash your hands? And for most of us boys, the answer was no. This is an easy way for kids to make sure that their hands are clean and sanitized. So I think I love the idea. I think it's brilliant. I think it's fantastic.
Yep.
I think one of the questions that's going to come of this from our audience is, how do they order these? What do they do? I know that we are working on getting these rolled out, and that will be something that, if you do want to purchase something or purchase one of these items, we'll have some more information here shortly as well. One thing I think it's important to mention, Kevin, when we're talking to our pediatric dentist friends is that, we know that this is a extremely competitive market. And one of the things that's unique about Worlds of Wow is, you can't order what we do out of a catalog per se, as far as the thematic design of an office space and of a waiting room and of a lobby, because everything we do is unique. And so that's, to me, one of the great things about Worlds of Wow is we can create a compelling space, an amazing space that's unique completely to your office. No other pediatric dental office will have. It'll be an experience unlike any other. So again, if you're just joining us, we have Kevin Cravens, the creative director at Worlds of Wow. We're talking about what it's like to theme a pediatric dental office, as well as what it's like to have thematic elements in a pediatric dentist office or dental office during COVID-19. So we have these are some sanitizing stations that we'll be rolling out here soon that you can purchase. But Kevin, what else? What are some other thoughts that you had? I know we talked about if parents need to sit in their cars, and how does a pediatric dental office still create a fun environment, even though maybe you're not walking in this space, or maybe you are, but you have to come back out. What does that look like? What are some of your thoughts there?
Sure. Yeah. So I think sometimes it's a call or sitting on the parking lot that let you know when to come in, right? So I think sometimes windows are a great opportunity to start that experience, right? With whether if kiddos and families are hanging out in the car till it's their turn, right? And so let me do this, and I know, like, if I'm sitting in the car with my kids, obviously it's going to be real easy to pick up the switch or the phone or whatnot. But I think we're all looking for opportunities, and I think this would be an opportunity for the pediatric dentist to help parents find those opportunities to pull kids' eyes up from the screen and just do something else, and even a family sort of event, right? And so whether it was some just big, fun, graphic mural, just underwater, I'm going to call that a whale. I don't know what that is, right? But you could include like a seek and find sort of thing. You could, you could turn it into almost a game, find the 5 fish, name the fish. So I think there's real big opportunities to either, again, capture the kids' imagination, or really kind of gamify it and make it an activity for moms and dad while they're hanging out in the car with their kiddos, right? So I think that's one. And then, the last one we're working on, and again, rolling out, is we've all seen these, right? Whether you're grocery shopping or, at a big box place or really anywhere, it's just, it's the floor decals. They're very straightforward and serve a very specific purpose. But, knowing kiddos and, knowing that, there's an expectation to kind of stay in the spot for, sometimes an extended period of time. How do you make that activity or that thing that we need to do compelling and engaging for the kiddos, right? And so, something we're working on, and again, like the sanitizing stations, getting ready to roll out is, whether, again, the themed floor decals, or again, gamify it and turn it into a game. And so, if, this is kind of mocked up for a church. So if mom and dad are checking their kiddos in, the kiddos occupied for those 20, 30 seconds of, now they have a game to play, right? But I think it's kind of the same idea potentially for a pediatric dental office. And even if these are at, kind of the certain spots, if they're sitting in the lobby, maybe it's at their feet when they're sitting at the chair, right? These would be great opportunities to engage the kids.
Yeah, I think about that. I mean, we've got 4 kiddos, and my youngest now is 10, but still trying to get him to stand in one spot.
Mm-hmm.
Period of time. I think it's brilliant. I love the idea. I think about even if a parent needs to sit out in a parking space or parking lot, we can get those code readers that could be pasted on the window, and that instantly creates your game.
Yep.
Parents can sit out there and actively engage with their kid while they're on a device, but they're using the device and being interactive. I think that's a win-win. It really is. I think because it touches the where kids are at with everything being on a device, but also creating an opportunity to make a memory. And I think, when we look back in these days, we're going to look back and these are going to be memories. Hopefully they'll be, distant memories sooner than later, but kids are going to remember these experiences. And so I think, as adults, we need to make sure, and quite frankly, as a business owner, how do you leverage that? And again, when we're talking about a pediatric dental market, it's highly competitive. It's extremely competitive. So again, and the other thing too, we've talked about this a lot, Kevin, is understanding your audience. I mean, millennials and Generation Z, the 2 generations that have kids, they value the experience, and that's really, really important to them. So how do we create an amazing experience, even during COVID, that can be engaging, interactive, and can help drive business into the doors? And again, I know when we're talking about our pediatric dentist friends, that's what it's all about, right? They're trying to grow their business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, it's just remembering right now, just I think what we're hearing, working with pediatric dentists and just our research. And then, I think us speaking as parents is really taking our kids anywhere right now is, I think there's some anxiety even on the parents' part around that, right? And so, so I think, again, maybe that's why for us, it's, we're seeing that need for really creating these opportunities that communicate to parents as well, that, we're in this to do this right, to keep our kids and our families and each other safe, right? And so I think it can serve that purpose to lower those anxieties for mom and dad as well, right? 'Cause I would think, for churches, I mean, really everybody we're talking to, it's how do you communicate that to whoever you're serving or working with, right? So, and these would be great opportunities to do that.
Yeah, I agree. So, one of the things that we'll get, no doubt, some questions that'll be sent to us and phone calls to our office. How do they get started? What do they do? And really, I think the best way to do that is to email us at hello@worldsofwow.com, especially if they're interested in a custom themed hand sanitizing station, or if they're looking for some social distancing markers on the floor, that's the best place. Go ahead and email us at hello@worldsofwow.com. And then what we'll do is we'll follow up with you and can talk a little bit further on pricing. And then, we'd love to get these into the dental offices, as quickly as we can. So, man, yeah, I mean, again, we've themed hundreds of pediatric dental offices all over the country. It's one of our passions. And quite frankly, if you're looking for something that's beyond just a hand sanitizing station and you want your office themed, reach out to us again at hello@worldsofwow.com. We'll follow up. We'll do a full consult with you. That probably takes maybe, max 30 minutes. I know that especially our pediatric dental friends are super busy during the day, but schedule some time. Let's talk about how we can transform your space. And again, just to make it inviting and engaging for kids. And now in the COVID-19 era, very safe and sanitary as well. Kevin, closing thoughts?
No, I think that's it. It's interesting times for sure. But I think there's a lot of very practical things, we can do to keep each other safe, which I think, I hope, and I know all of us are doing. And then I think we, whether, pediatric dentists or all of us who kind of work in the worlds of, with kids, have an opportunity to invite them to be active participants in that with us. So I'm excited about the opportunity to partner with some people and kind of do some of this.
Yeah, so are we. So thanks again for joining us. This is episode 6 of Creating Playful Worlds. And for Todd Parks, on behalf of me and Kevin Cravens and the rest of the Worlds of Wow team, thanks for tuning in. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, everybody.